Let's say you want to hem a pair of dress pants with the blind hem. That's a really good choice. It's pretty easy to do, and it's just a stitch that kind of runs inside of your pants and it pokes its head out every once in a while, which I'll explain. And you might get the length right, but you got little dots that are kind of showing on the outside of your dress pants now. Or one leg might be a little bit longer than the other one, or you might have like a wavy or a puckering seam. Like, yo, what happened? And instead of looking good, they look really, really homemade. Now, a blind hem is supposed to be completely invisible. The stitching is going to hold the folded fabric in place, but from the outside, you should barely see anything at all. And if you've never hemmed a pair of dress pants before, well, here's a couple of mistakes to avoid that are going to make it so much easier for you. And the first mistake is deciding on that new fit without trying on any shoes at the same time. Now, the length of your dress pants, it's going to depend on the type of shoes that you're wearing. I'm SD, and if you're new, I show guys like you how to tailor their own clothes at home. But hold on, you've been warned, because it's the most addicting thing in the entire world. So if you're up for the challenge, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Again, you've been warned. And if you go ahead and measure those pants while you are barefoot, they might look like they're too long when you put a pair of shoes on. Or if you measure them while wearing some J's, then you're gonna have some high waters on when you go to wear some more low profile shoes. So make sure that you wear the shoes that you're normally going to wear with those dress pants. Oh, and make sure that you wear your pants at like the normal spot on your waist. It's really easy to, kind of unconsciously hike them up. You're thinking that you're gonna get a better fit that way or a more accurate fit. No, don't do that. Put them at their natural position because that's where they're gonna normally go at rest anyway, so you wanna make sure that it's accurate. And now you wanna decide, where do you want the bottom of those pants to fit on your shoe? I mean, sit. Sit is the word I'm looking for, not fit. This is sometimes called a break, and a break is just a small little fold at the bottom of your pants where it meets your shoe. In a nice, clean, modern look, that's gonna be when the pants are touching the top of your shoe and they're not, there's no break at all, there's no folding at all. And a small break is gonna be when there is a very small fold that you see at the top. And a full break is like a full-on fold at the top of your shoe. Now, there's no hard and fast rule. It's all gonna come down to personal preference and what it is that you're looking for. So there's no right choice. You just want to make sure that both of those legs are exactly the same. Now, don't go out there and measure one pant leg and then assume that the other pant leg is going to be the same. Don't just like transfer those measurements over because you're assuming that the manufacturer created both of those pant legs completely equally, which they most likely did not. And you're also assuming that both of your legs, they're the exact same length. Those are also most likely not. That's really common. I don't know if you knew that. And after you determine that you've got the new length that you're looking for, don't just stand there like a tree. You gotta move and bend and stretch, and most importantly, sit down. Because those pants can look spectacular while you're standing there. They could be the perfect length, but then you go to sit down and you realize that you made a very, very grave mistake. Now, the second mistake is measuring and folding that fabric and then immediately jumping into sewing. No. You do not want to do that. You want to make sure that you iron down that fold first. And you're ironing not to get rid of any wrinkles or anything like that, but what you're doing is you're locking that fabric in place. It's going to be so much easier to work with when you iron it first. So after you get those measurements, make sure you turn your pants inside out. And you're going to want to leave a little bit of extra fabric on the bottom of your pants there. That's going to be called your hem allowance. That's going to be important. So for a lot of dress pants, that's going to mean leaving about an inch and a half to 2 inches of fabric. Or for my Euro bros out there, I think that's 3.8 centimeters to 5 centimeters. Because Scotty doesn't know. So that means that new visible bottom of your pants, that new length that you determine there, that's going to be where your pants sit. And then you're going to have about an inch and a half to 2 inches folded of fabric up inside your pants. But if there is a lot of fabric, if you are taking off a lot from those pants, you want to trim away some of that extra. You don't want to keep all of that in there. You don't want to fold your pants up and then have like 4 or 5 inches of fabric in there because it's going to make it like look really ridiculous. It's going to be big and bulky and uncomfortable, and it's going to kind of look like you took 2 different pairs of pants and you combined them together in like some weird Frankenstein way. And in the event that that's you're going to cut off that extra fabric. Now you've got a little bit of a problem. Well, not really a problem. You created what's called a raw edge. Now a raw edge is just where you cut there and you can see the fabric fraying a little bit. You don't want that fabric to fray on you. It's going to end up disintegrating in the washing machine. So we're going to have to seal off that raw edge with a zigzag stitch. And you can make a zigzag stitch by hand too, in the event that you're blind hemming these pants by hand. It's just a stitch where you're wrapping over the edge so it doesn't fray. And now once you got all that raw edge nonsense all taken care of, you want to take your pants and roll them up on the inside, and then you want to iron them down at that new location that you determine that you want the new length to be. And if the pants, if they're made from like wool or another type of delicate fabric, make sure that you put something in between the pants and the iron. It doesn't have to be anything particular or unique at all by any means. You just want to make sure that it's something that isn't too thick so that it stops the heat from transferring from the iron to your pants. And you also want to make sure that it's not something that's overly synthetic that might end up melting on your pants. The third mistake is grabbing way too much fabric with that needle. And this is one of the main reasons why a blind hem will become visible from the outside of your pants. Okay, now here's the basic idea. First, you put that needle through that small fold of fabric that's on the inside of your pants, just that small fold. And then you're gonna run it horizontally through your pants by about 1/2 inch, maybe even 1/4 inch, horizontally in that fold. And then you're gonna take your needle and you're gonna grab about 1, maybe 2 little strands of thread. That's it, on the outside of your pants. You're taking it and you're just grabbing a small amount of thread, just kind of poking it out, grabbing it, and then going back into that fold. And then when the needle is in the fold, you move forward again by about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and then you go back out to the outside of your pants there, and you grab another 1, maybe 2 little strands of fabric. That's it, just one, just poke them out and then come back in. And then when you look at your pants from the outside, you shouldn't see anything at all. In the event that you do, we're gonna get to that in a second, but you shouldn't see anything. I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, beginners often worry that such a small, insignificant looking stitch isn't going to be strong enough, so a really big mistake that they'll make is thinking that they need to grab more than like 1 or 2 little individual strands or fibers. They need to grab a lot. They need to grab a pretty good amount. So they come out and they come back in like, okay, they got a good amount of fabric, but you got a really big stitch that you can now see on the outside. 1 or 2 strands is usually enough. Now, the fourth mistake is pulling that thread way too tight. When the thread is pulled too tight, what's gonna happen is it's gonna pull that fabric together, and it's gonna end up warping it and throwing it out of proportion, and it's gonna make it so that, you know, the dimples, they're kind of pulled down into the fabric. The stitch is gonna be pulled down into the fabric a bit, which draws your attention to it. It catches light differently. So you want your thread to hold that fabric in place without squeezing anything too tight. So as you're going along, make a couple of stitches, and then you want to let that fabric relax. It's very easy to put more pressure into this than you normally would, or to use more force than you normally would, or even that you're consciously thinking that you're doing. So you just want to let it go and just kind of pull the fabric out a little bit, pull it apart, let it breathe, let it relax. Now, this is really important with things like lightweight wool or polyester, because those fabrics, they're very soft and very flowy. They drape on your body, which looks great, but they also show any kind of imperfection at all. So if you have any kind of tight stitches, it's gonna show a lot. And the final mistake is sewing all the way around your pant leg without checking your progress as you go along. Sew a couple of inches along at a time and then stop. Flip your pants out and take a look at the outside and see how you're doing. Assess the work that you're doing. Are your stitches, are they invisible? Can you see anything? Do you see any dimpling? Do you see any puckering? And it's really important, because fixing 3 inches or 2 inches of a mistake, it's annoying, but it's easy. But no. In the event that you finish the entire leg and then you go back and check everything, now you gotta take a seam ripper and you gotta rip it out. And then you're gonna stab the seam ripper into the wall. And now that you know what mistakes to avoid when making a blind hem, let's go watch me make like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those mistakes in this next tutorial where I make a blind hem on some pants. It'll make sense when you get over there. I'll see you in the next video. SD out. See ya.